Cerberus, whom I had mounted, dashed across the surface of Coxytus.
Censor, I thought we were going after Lilith.
No, first I want to return to Pandora. I'm worried by Sorami and Raziel. And I don't know why, but I have a feeling like someone is waiting for me there. I'll start by meeting him first.
You're fine just leaving Lilith like this.
I'm not, but I need some time to think. I have to figure out what exactly she's planning. There's an alien who will possessing her that's making her do this. But she was doing it all on her own volition for some still muddled reason. Cerberus' voice instantly grew urgent. A giant hole gaped wide in the sky. Space itself seemed to have been torn to pieces at that area. And if only one being capable of that. Leviathan.
Leviathan. Did he open this hole? Don't you think that's a little impossible? Even for him?
I couldn't blame Cerberus for cocking his head to the side. This knowledge came not from mine, but from Camael's memories. My head was still kind of a mess of disjointed new thoughts and knowledge. I imagine myself also lost quite a few of my own memories during the fusion. I could still remember Kugitsu Sorami and Raziel full well. And Lilith, of course. As long as I could hold on to these three, I didn't mind losing anything else. Well, whatever. Let's go through that hole, Cerberus!
As you command.
Cerberus leapt into the air, flew straight into the hole. I could barely contain my surprise.
Well, this is something. Kings of the first stratum. And a hole leading to the second stratum in the sky.
Well, at least it was incredibly convenient for us now. We proceeded upward. I stole a glance at the hospital. It looked safe and peaceful enough. It didn't seem like it suffered any other attacks on its premises. I wish I had time to meet them all again. Heart grew a loud beat. Purgatory, Tokyo Babel, Pandora. Our destinations were still far away. And yet, all the way from here?
What's up with you, Setsuna? From here? What do you mean from here?
No, it's nothing. Let's hurry. Pandora won't wait. Apparently I was the only one who noticed. Or rather, it was directed to me alone. Much more pure than mere animosity or hate. Much more innocent than murderous intent. A will to battle as clear as the clearest of crystals. Yeah, it was him. Who else could it be? No doubt about it. He was calling me. I understood full well. I had to fight this battle. I had to settle this once and for all. But did I stand a chance? Against a being that angels designed to be invincible? Against Adam, the original man? Could I truly prove victorious? Violent water surged inside Shinjuku from the hole in the sky.
I think I can get through this, but can we really leave it like this? I'm not the kind to say no to an amiable offer of water towards your butt.
Won't go down that easily. Look at the ground. Cerberus glanced down, let out a gasp of surprise.
The water is not continuing down.
Other than the seventh stratum where the gates of hell stand, the layers of this place exist in different dimensions from the sea. Water won't be able to penetrate them. Only Shinjuku will sink. It was the Leviathan who was the abnormal one. He somehow managed to break the walls separating the dimensions. An impossible task. I guess that's what you get for being old massive primordial seas of chaos. Still, nonetheless, I highly doubted Leviathan could have bested Lilith. I couldn't help but feel absolutely certain of the fact. For one, it was impossible to defeat her with brute strength. She was likely now as powerful, if not more so, as the one true god of our world. Cerberus. How would you deal with an attack that could distort the physical laws and rewrite reality with a single snap of the fingers, pretty much unconsciously?
Where the hell did you get that?
Fear and astonishment blended together in Cerberus' voice.
I unconsciously. You mean as in there is no time lag whatsoever? If you could rewrite reality, you could just rewrite it so your enemy is already dead. There is no way to counter that. Praying for your enemy not to hit you would be the only option you'd have at that point. If the attack was at least visible, you might be able to try and dodge it, but you're asking tough questions, Setsuna. I myself would like to know the answer to that.
Yeah. I analyzed the situation. That's all I could do at this point.
Alright. Brace for it. I'm going to dive into the sea.
With that, Cerberus jumped into the raging waters that would have made even the rapid currents of Niagara Falls pale in comparison. But as if the sudden water pressure would crush me, I endured. Tearing through the deep sea at rapid speed, we soon escaped the alternative Babel, proceeded towards the real thing hanging in the distant sky. What was I supposed to do to best her? How was I supposed to fight? How was I supposed to have save both Lilith and the world? Much time for thought, and much time for ponderings. Yet, despite it all, I couldn't even come up with an answer to my questions to the very end. What I had to change was my resolve. My goal is to save both Lilith and the world. I wouldn't hesitate to sacrifice everything else for it. No, Mary, do Raziel today.
Camael's disappeared without trace.
And Mr. Adam destroyed Pandora.
Astaroth is likely weaving a new scheme now that he's lost his primary base.
And so we're faced with a dilemma. Where are we supposed to go now? Will you guide us? Oh.
Everyone?
Belial!
Belial!
Don't ask me. I'm still thinking.
Frank, narrate.
Belial let out a deep sigh. A huge group of angels and demons surrounded him, reaching close to 5,000 in number. Each of them carried as much archived human data as their strength allowed. As long as that was still in their hands, mankind wouldn't go extinct. At the same time, losing it would mean the end of their rich history. They'd have to recreate mankind from nothing. Anyway, it's already clear where we're supposed to go.
The future?
Yep, exactly. If Astaroth's words can be trusted, then this present was long supposed to end and turn into the past. A precipice existed in the current space-time of the world. They couldn't reach the future regardless of how hard they'd try to propel themselves forward. So the only way to reach the future now was to jump straight into it from the current world. Leave the past behind, for tomorrow has come. But that also meant leaving both your present and the past behind. Still, I can't deny it might as well be a fool's gamble. A sterile world with no past whatsoever. You know what that might turn out to be, right? Everyone fell silent. They all probably knew the answer to the question, at least on a subconscious level. Eventually, Raziel parted her lips.
I understand. We might end up having to make the world anew. To recreate it from nothing.
Exactly. That's something none of us have ever attempted, even in this world. Genesis. A magnificent ritual that made everything sprout from nothing, the realm of the one true God alone. The surviving angels and demons might be forced to imitate the feat, and then there was another problem too.
Wait, Cristina, you did Raziel since Dantalion's still alive.
In that case, we would end up abandoning our lord who remains in this realm.
Yes, God, their master, wouldn't be able to exist in the separated world. Think for yourself. You can stay behind if you don't feel like letting it go, but remember that in the case only destruction awaits you. Anyway, you better make up your minds now, everyone. Complete silence. Raziel, the Dantalions, and the rest of the angels and demons fell into deep thought, their eyes fixed on the ground. A completely unknown world waited for them beyond. Unable to predict their fate, they'd have to jump headfirst into the darkness. But if they didn't go, they'd be left stranded in a dying world instead. All of their fates were already set in stone in this place. Even if they managed to defeat both Adam and Astaroth by some miracle, this world was already done for. And so, they had to go, yet they wished to stay. What is it?
Sorami.
No, it's just... I was just wondering what there was to worry about.
Everyone raised their faces at once. Angels and demons cocked their heads, some considering Sorami with confusion, some with angry looks for her disregard of their feelings.
Doc B, Angel B.
That's...
It would be Demon A.
The future is...
But they had to swallow their words. They realized how cowardly that they would have sounded.
But, you know, isn't it completely normal for the future to be scary and uncertain?
That's right, indeed.
Angels and demons exchanged uncertain looks. The future had always been clearly defined for them. One of the very reasons they were naturally predisposed against the comprehension of eternity. Sorami, on the other hand, knew. She comprehended that the future was by nature uncertain.
Scared to go because you don't know what's waiting for you? Are you children or something?
Belial made a mischievous grin and considered the hesitating angels and demons.
Sorami, are you going to the future yourself?
Yeah, I've already decided. I think this is exactly what Gethel herself would have wished for. In the stead of myself...
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. In the stead of myself, who could only glimpse despair, show and lead them to hope. Yes, my raison d'etre is to lead people to the future and connect it back to our world.
She finally understood her role in life. She finally discovered herself.
I see. So that was the reason you were born in this world.
Raziel clasped Sorami's hand.
I believe I have no choice. I'll keep you company as your friend.
Are you sure you want to decide just like that?
Very sure.
Raziel smiled and ruffled Sorami's hair. Dantalion, observing the playful mood of the two, gave an understanding nod.
Well, even if we lose the past, we brought many records with ourselves. We wouldn't be starting from completely nothing.
Textbooks of mineralogy, agriculture, astronomy.
I imagine many terrible hurdles await us, but it still sounds preferable to just waiting for the end to come while doing nothing.
Therefore, we, Dantalion, shall follow you into your future too, Kagutsu Sorami.
Okay. Glad to have you aboard?
The entire horde of Dantalions bowed their heads to her at the same time. The uncanny sight spooked Sorami a little. And so, what will you do? Belial's words as their cue, angels and demons began to gather around Sorami, falling to their knees in the same fashion as Dantalions.
Whoa! Oh, wait a second. You don't need to, bow before me or anything.
Sorami took a couple of steps back.
Don't panic.
But just look at them.
Can't reach that future of yours without you, Sorami. Don't give up and lead us like a true messiah.
I have high hopes for you, Sorami. Everything rests in your hands now. Everything. Belial patted Sorami's shoulder with the most jovial of grins.
Please stop trying to put pressure on me like that. And I can totally see you're doing it on purpose, too.
Anyway, Sorami, where exactly are we supposed to go to reach that future of yours?
Sorami looked around herself, then suddenly glanced up into the sky. Her eyes, piercing through the high heavens, piercing through the rigid walls separating dimensions, fixed on one location far away. The empty heaven, and the doors that loomed inside it. The doors that would lead them to the future that only she herself could perceive.
We have to go to heaven.
What? This again?
I'm worried about the chorus and the masters. But I suppose we have no choice but to just press onwards in this case.
I think it should be fine.
Sorami let the words out absent-mindedly, still seemingly in a trance.
What do you mean?
Yeah. It's just that, well, I have this feeling.
She felt like it would be all right. And so, joining hands, angels, demons, and humans proceeded down the road of the devastated land. Even though their old world was already beyond hope, they didn't let the fire of life leave their eyes yet. They started their journey to recover their future.
Pandora is before our eyes. It looks devastated. What in the name of hell happened here?
I couldn't blame Cerberus for losing his calm. Pandora lay in ruin. Flames and smoke dominate the whole scenery. I couldn't spot a single living being in the ruins. Nothing set off my biosense either. Except for those two naturally. Head to the roof. I could tell he was waiting for me. The beginning of the end is set waiting for me on the roof. The time had finally come to settle things once and for all.
Nuts.
I gave Cerberus' neck a little pat. Cerberus, move aside a little. Might get in the line of fire.
Roger.
I jump off my mount's back. Rubbing his snout against my face once, he reluctantly flew away. It didn't seem like the two were interested in my hellhound, though they only wanted my head.
I suppose you haven't been gone long enough to say long time no see.
Egan didn't break her silence. She seemed close and was clinging to Anne in a way I'd never seen her do before. Something must have happened between the two. A development that would have called for a celebration, and not led to this lethal situation.
Is there a need for us to exchange words?
No. You were the one who destroyed Pandora, weren't you? I can tell you wish for my death as well. There's little point in wasting our breath at this point.
I am glad you are so quick on the uptake. The two of us are bound by some accursed fate, no doubt.
Most certain we are.
Still, when I stand face to face with you like this, all of that ceases to matter. The sole thing my heart craves now.
Adam readied his sword. I was relieved to see was a legendary Adrastegos in his hands. Yes, indeed. I wouldn't care if even you were my brother. The sole thing my heart craves now
Is
a chance to fight you!
Fight you!
The moment I stepped forward, a monochrome kill zone descended upon me. The combat deflected with a Picati sword. The upper hand as far as my weapon was concerned. He had the upper hand in everything else. In addition to that, justice might have been on his side as well. After all, he fought for love. The bitterly smiled in my mind. I was quite obviously the villain in this story. With that magnificent roar akin to that of a lion, Adam crashed his weapon to mine. Sparks shot from the impact, surrounding us like a blizzard of sparkling snow. Short exchange allowed us to confirm the other's prowess. I was at a slight disadvantage. He was at a slight advantage. I thought so and he comprehended. I lunged at him this time. He dodged. Adams danced through the battlefield like floating water. A random spectator that doubtless would be taken in by the dazzling performance. Me, on the other hand, I staggered through the field gracelessly, letting the sort of 7 deadly sins dictate my actions. I spun around to put extra strength into my swing, continued hacking over at him as the attack failed. Because the weapon in my hand had already become a part of my body. The 7 deadly sins: gluttony, sloth, wrath, envy, pride, lust, and greed. The avatars were the coarsest and most disgusting of beasts. So, to unleash its full power, its user, too.
So that's how one's supposed to wield it.
Had to debase himself to the level of a savage beast. Ha! Broke through his guard, sent him flying towards the fence. Come forth, gluttony! The giant boar leapt out of the tip of my blade, bared his fang at Adam. Adam paid his seeping blood no mind. The Avatar gluttony hesitated, bewildered by the fact that its fan couldn't quite tear through the man's arm.
You didn't think this through, Tendo Setsuna. The 7 deadly sins of mankind were mine to begin with.
Next moment, a giant boar exploded, the guts flying in every direction. I sighed. I knew this would happen.
I sincerely hope that wasn't your trump card. We both still have a long fight ahead of us.
His voice rang serene as always. Indeed. Yes, this was only the beginning. Our fight would continue beyond the realm of strength, beyond the realm of technique, beyond the realm of logic, to a world where the concept of our very beings would clash. Thence answered my query. What's thy raison d'etre, Tendo Setsuna?
Why would he?
I stabbed my sword deep into the concrete roof.
What on earth are you doing?
I just thought I wouldn't need it anymore. The sword of 7 deadly sins had a strong raison d'etre of its own. It condemned, punished, and devoured sins. But that wasn't my role. I've been before, but not anymore. The most formidable and the strongest mankind's weapon. I chose my own fists. Adam considered the sword in his hand. Eve caught out to him, flustered.
Adam, that's...
Waving a stick at Tendo Setsuna at this point would serve little purpose either way.
Adam tossed his bone sword aside as well. He stuck his fist out to me. I feel a smile dancing on his lips.
Gah!
Putting cannons to shame, his fist pierced through the air like a missile.
incredible.
Talk about packing a punch. It's a simple series of straight lefts, but everything about it, technique, strength, timing, speed, stepping, hundreds of other parameters. Almost saw your armor fly out of the socket. Reached a perfection normally denied to mankind.
I'd be more than happy to launch them as projectiles if I could.
Belial feel a smile. He stepped in again. His jabs could give flashes of light or run from the money. I dodged, or rather tried to run away, but halted my step at the last second. I chose this death match myself. This battle is not one you could afford to run from, Tendo Setsuna. Surprised by my boldness, he hesitated for a split second. Taking his jab from the chest, I had his solar plexus with something worse than a fist. My elbow shot at his ribs, robbing him of the ability to breathe for a second. Got you! He leaned forward from pain, his neck coming within my reach. I clasped onto it with both my hands and rammed his nose into my...
Fool!
Before I realized it, he had his hands coiled around my back, but I hadn't the time to understand what was going on. I floated up into the air, tasting of despair and that one guess when forcefully freed from the clutches of gravity. Oh shit! Belly to belly suplex. But he wasn't planning to let me land my back. He aimed to crush my skull instead. I crashed headfirst into concrete. My whole body grew numb all the way from the top of my head to my fingertips. Sensation worse than pain robbed me of my ability to breathe.
Got you.
Adam climbed on top of me, crashing his fist into my eyes. One punch after another. He planned to make mincemeat in my face. God damn it! How could he hit me like that with such a calm face? I despise him. I hated him from the first moment I met him. That fucking hurts! I grasped both of his thighs, digging deep into them with my nails, concentrating all my strength into my arms. I heaved him up and bent my back, losing balance. He had no choice but to get off of me.
I believe I won the fist fight.
He chose the very expression that would piss me off the most in this situation. However, he could keep this one victory for all I cared. I've yet to lose the battle. Did I make it too easy for you?
No. I'm just glad you cannot make excuses about my weapons being better.
He smiled to himself, soothing my riled up bile, and glared at Adam. You don't look like someone who'd do something like that!
Of course. In a fight against you, even I would.
Indeed, I would. I didn't want to lose. Not against some of all people. I mean, hide behind excuses to escape that humiliating fact. At the same time, when the fight off was not an option either.
No use hoping for the impossible. I'll just cover my lack of weapons with technique, magic, and heart.
Heart.
Yes, I shall live and die for Eve. That's my true raison d'etre.
You declared that with a hint of hesitation. He lived for the sake of one woman alone. So you destroyed the world, that was what she wanted?
Of course. She need only say the word, and I shall slay men, angels, and demons, even grind the world itself into dust.
I took a deep breath. His reason to live is likely stronger than anyone else's in this world.
Tell me, Tendo Setsuna, what do you live for? I know of your past. Do you live in order to atone for your sins?
No. My wish to atone was what set me up upon the path.
To save the world?
No, that was me or my current goal. Not what I lived for.
For love?
It wasn't the case either.
Do you not have a reason? If that is so, then your defeat is imminent.
I did. To stand before Lilith once again, but that wasn't the reason I lived for. Make up your mind, Tendo Setsuna. Who the hell are you? I don't know. I don't know, Adam. I don't know why I'm alive.
I see, then.
It was over. That's what he likely wanted to say. I shook my head in silence. I don't have one particular reason to live. I want to meet Lilith again. I want to defeat you. I want to save the world. I want everything.
Wait, Tendo Setsuna. That is not a raison d'etre. If you only wanted to save the world, then it would still make sense, but how could you possibly compare defeating Adam and meeting my sister to that?
That's the only answer I could come up with, no matter how long I thought about it. But it's probably just as important to me as the world itself, just like you could choose Eve or the fate of everything else. I think of everyone as equal. My words must have resonated heavily with Adam. It was the first time I've seen him make that expression. It felt quite understandable. After all, it basically just declared his own art of raison d'etre had no meaning.
Tendo Setsuna. There are no words in the universe to describe how much I loathe you.
I could feel someone's palpable hatred glossed against my skin. To tell you the truth, I once hated you as well. But the moment you revealed your malice, I understood everything. You're the only one who's ever truly hated me. None of the foes I faced in battle viewed me for who I was. I was an obstacle in their path, one they tried to eliminate. Adam was the only one who truly hated, desired to kill me for what I stood for. I found that notion oddly precious. You're my beloved nemesis. Let's play with death and murder to our heart's desire while we still can. There's nothing else we need.
Then you're gonna get it!
We both lunged forward, accelerating to our utmost. Now that I thought about it, both our lives ran at the speed of a blinking light. Still, we were too slow. Still, we were too languid. little bit faster. A fraction of a second faster is all I need. We flew towards each other. That's what light was to Tendo Setsuna and Adam. Frank.
Eve thought to herself that she was envious from the bottom of her heart. Adam unveiled honest hate, and Tendu Setsuna answered with jubilation. The two crashed their fists against each other to kill, to defeat. No, that wasn't it.
That's not it.
They were hitting each other because they genuinely wanted to do precisely that. Death or victory were but a side effect to their bout. Primordial, barbaric, truly a fight befitting the original man.
Ah,
She was so envious. She was envious from the bottom of her heart. There were no emotions more beautiful than love, and more potent than hatred. Eve received his affection, but Tendu Setsuna received his malice. Neither took a single step back. Neither could take a single step forward. They kept throwing their fists at each other in volleys reminiscent of machine guns. Howling like tigers, raging like typhoons. Eve observed their passionate display, understanding that only the privileged two could ever become a genuine part of it. A space of absolute rejection, allowed to be inhabited only by two who despised each other to the point of murder. She couldn't squeeze in between the two. She didn't have the right. She could only absent-mindedly look at it from the sidelines, unable to help Adam in the slightest. And that was why she felt jealous. She felt envious of Tendu Setsuna, around whom Adam's world now exclusively revolved. And that made her realize one more thing about herself. In her life of constantly going with the flow, only receiving what was given and always letting go of things taken away, there was but one being to her that felt truly irreplaceable. And that was none other than the Adam in front of her eyes. Yet, if their positions were but slightly different, Adam would be standing in Tendu Setsuna's place, and the young man might as well have gone the current way of the original man. It was Eve who guided Adam to this path. She alone chose Adam in the end. She alone chose to steal Adam from the world.
Ah, I see. I stole you from the world.
She felt her hatred for the world melting away. Jubilation for having robbed the world of something that precious filled her heart to the brim. Eve took a slow yet resolute step forward.
To keep hitting him until he stopped moving. That's the sole thought currently dominating both our minds. Painfully plain, poignantly simple. A fight club our own. Pain surged through the flesh that his fists grazed. My head hurt. My eye sockets hurt. My cheeks hurt. My jaw hurt. The clavicle, shoulders, arms, chest, solar plexus, stomach, liver, kidneys, all hurt like hell. I had trouble breathing. Each grasp of air I drew filled my lungs with vicious heat. Could glimpse evaporating blood and dream breaths I let out. A simplistic, most savage fight ruled by despair, in which we simply keep hitting each other with our fists. To win, to not lose, even though simple concept of long vacated our minds, all we focused on was laying a hit on the other, not sustaining one ourselves. But it's fun. It's fun to hit him. It was fun to get hit. Something akin to revelation suddenly descended upon my mind. The Adam and I were likely the same breed. It wasn't clear who was the copy of who, but I realized that what we hated might, in truth, have been the mirror images of ourselves, flickering each other's countenance. That was probably the case. No, that was most certainly the case. I was grateful for it. If not for this phenomenon, I never met someone I could hate this much. I suffered an uppercut that might as well have shattered my jaw. My consciousness drifted far, the scenery growing dim. I couldn't even grip my teeth. My whole body was trembling. I wouldn't give up just yet. I still had to hit him. I still could take more. The slave of mine, my body creaked at the thought. My mind itself let a cry of despair. I let them call it quits yet. Something within me, possessed death behind my heart, howled to keep fighting. Victoria's held exaltation. Can I acknowledge that? I would not acknowledge such a thing yet. We surpassed the limits with every attack, yet we still clashed against an impenetrable wall. Break through it, Tendo Cessna. It shouldn't be that hard. Clutch your fists. Glare at your accursed foe. Prepare to strike. That wasn't that hard, was it? Throw your arm at him now. Make him pay for his transgressions. Fill it with your unadulterated hate and all your other vile emotions that transcend it. Crush his face, Tendo Setsuda! Fuck you! In retrospect, I think it was the dirtiest phrase I've ever uttered in my entire life. I hit him. Hit me back, as if fists were the only tool to express an uncontainable malice. We kept pulverizing each other. His guard momentarily grew weaker, but at the time to take a breath, he used the opportunity for an attack. Not unnerved by plunging those jaws of death itself, I unclenched my fist. My target was his heart, the organ that was both the origin and master of all that was a man. But then all thought, I didn't have time to think. A peculiar kind of sensation dominated my mind. I felt oddly hesitant to put an end to this time of utmost fulfillment. But Adam felt the same. My fingers pierced through his chest. Blood surged out of the wound. I could feel his life at my very fingertips. Adam, I loathe you. I simply despise you, unable to understand why, with no idea what drove me to such lengths. But I no longer feel that way. Because you are me, Adam. I've always been me. I wrapped my fingers around it in his chest. Without a moment of hesitation, I ripped it out. His dreams, ambitions, and hopes, I shattered them all. A fountain of ruby red blood erupted from his chest. Adam showed no emotion, neither joy, nor anger, nor sorrow. He fell to the ground, the usual expressionless mask still on his face. And that was the end of our bout. I could still see Adam's shoulders tremble as he struggled to continue breathing. I realized that he wouldn't die until I crushed the heart resting in my right palm. The more I tried adding more pressure to my grip, the girl appeared at Adam's side.
Eve.
The sight made me hesitate. Eve wrapped her hands around Adam's neck.
Let go of me, Eve.
It's all right. You've done enough.
A faint voice, a faint serene smile to go with it. One that only those who made peace with their own end could wear.
What do you mean, I've done enough? I've yet to fulfill your wish.
You couldn't do it. Could do nothing in the end. Eve, however, shook her head.
It's all right. There's no need for more. You tried fulfilling a dumb girl's dumb wish. You've already done plenty for me.
So you'll give up?
Yes. This world is already at its end. My wish has been fulfilled. The shackles tying me down are gone.
And so, she had enough. Adam made a puzzled face.
Then what should I do now?
Eve considered with teary eyes.
Just be free. That's all.
Her face reflected a grave resolve, as if during a final farewell. Perplexed, Adam reached out, caressing her cheek.
I don't know what that means.
I'm sorry.
Undiluted sorrow crept onto her face as she heard those words. She's the one who took his freedom away, but now...
But if being free means to do whatever your heart desires, then would it be alright if I stayed by your side for the rest of my time?
Sheer surprise robbed Eva the ability to breathe for a moment. I considered her absent-mindedly, unable to comprehend what made her so.
I have nothing. Apart from you, the only thing I could call mine was the malice I felt towards that man. And even that seems to have vacated me just now. So now, I have no one but you. Tell me, Eve, if I am truly free, then can I use that freedom to stay by your side?
Tears welled up in Eve's eyes, trickling down her face and dropping down to Adam's. Husband still clouding his expression, he got his finger to the damp trail, adorning her cheek.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to make you cry. I didn't expect you would hate the notion so much.
No, that's not it. That's not it at all.
She's probably happy, unable to contain her emotions. Guilt and sorrow, joy and passion, all sorts of emotions merge upon her countenance.
I want you to be at my side forever. I need nothing else as long as you're with me.
Husband slowly disappeared from Adam's face. He nodded.
Then it seems we're of one mind.
Yes, we're man and wife, after all.
Adam considered me with an absent-minded look, or rather, his heart that held my hand.
You don't need to return it. I entrust this heart of the Red Dragon to you. Think of it as your spoils of victory.
I gave him a look of confusion. But won't you die without it?
If it shatters, I will. But as the victor of our bout, you are the only one worthy of possessing it now.
The gravity of his words left no room for argument. Then I shall hold on to it.
Its name is Erythrocardia. Use it as a weapon to overcome the hardships you'll no doubt face. I no longer need it.
Eve lent Adam her shoulder as he stood up.
Let's go, Adam. To some other place, far from here. To a paradise for just the two of us, where we can spend our last moments together in peace.
The two turned their backs to me. There were no words left for us to exchange. I felt that even if I called out to them, they wouldn't stop to turn around and face me again. To these two, I was a ghost of the past. No more. I felt the same way about them. I pushed onwards, to leave the stage. The reason to fight had melted away, We spend the remaining days silently nestled against each other.
Is it over?
Cerberus landed next to me on the roof. Yeah, Adam and Eve no longer pose a threat to us. There's no need to pursue or finish them at this point. Let's go.
Very well. Setsuna, where do you think the two will go from now on? I hope they are not looking for a place just to end their lives together.
They're not, Cerberus. I'm certain of it. They will live on so they could silently nestle against each other. I mounted Cerberus. You can see on the internet there were any survivors left in Pandora. Hence the next destination was...
The possibility of all of them having perished here is low, I suppose. I imagine not even Adam could simply kill everyone like that. I'd wager most of them escaped. And thence, Setsuna, where do you think we should head to?
Up. Appear I had to climb Tokyo Babel one more time at the very end. Certainly an ironic turn of events.
I wonder if Kukutsu Sorami and the others are alright.
They are. I hope. I faced the many pairs of eyes that peered at me from vaguely the same direction that Adam had disappeared to. Will you tell me? 3 oddly shaped demons appeared out of thin air.
You're Astaroths. Mortals call me Baal. Again. And Marbas. We shall execute you, Tendo Setsuna, as per Astaroth's command. We shall put an end to the future. Mankind did not. You struggle and yearn for the future. We rule the present.
Is that something to figure out yourselves? Or did Astaroth put it into your heads?
Nay. It's only our free will that dictates our actions. Lord Astaroth is waiting for you. He judged that erasing you was the only way to save the present.
To save the present by killing me. In other words, he figured I would destroy it.
Hence, we resolve to spearhead the initiative and give your head to our lord. No need to have Lord Astaroth waste his time on a mere mortal. What is your plan, Setsuna? It smells like they're just trying to buy time. We'd be playing right into their hands by fighting them here.
Cerberus whispered an apt warning. Indeed, it's all felt staged. There was something else bothering me. Were they idly watching me fight Adam back then? If they intended to claim my head, they could have easily done so with a sneak attack. Wait. There was indeed a slight difference in my situation compared to the time before the fight. Now I had Adam's... Is this what you want? The Crimson Jewel, the heart-of-red dragon that was responsible for most of Adam's power. I could feel the 3 demons growing restless. Seemed like I hit the jackpot. I could feel incredible magical energy at my fingertips by holding the thing. Astaroth's goal was likely... Astaroth is planning to repeat Tokyo Babel all over again, isn't he? To plunge us back down to endless pilgrimages and relentless battles. That's why he planned to make another atom from the stone, begin another pilgrimage. We protected this Tokyo Babel up to the last human, angel, and demon, allowed the last breath within its walls. Heck, might even keep on with it after the fact for eternity. He ran Tokyo Babel by bestowing everyone with a pilgrimage, goal to strive for, while also maintaining a convenient foe through Camael. It was about time it came to an end. It was about time for everyone, humans, angels, and demons, to escape this stagnant reality. You do understand what Astaroth's trying to do, don't you? The three-headed demon smiled, his grin filled with jubilation.
Of course. And we are content with his plan. He will use us to the day we perish. But we do not mind. It is what us demons deserve.
It reminded me of how it used to be. Could understand them, could comprehend their intentions. You grew tired of thinking, you grew tired of being tricked, of looking for hidden meanings in the schemes of others. So, you chose to mindlessly follow orders. The simpler the better, a little to worry about when you're merely following commands like a machine. You were told to kill, they would. You were told to protect, they would. You were told to steal, they would. There was nothing more to it than that. I see you're completely beyond helped. You lost your right to declare yourself demons the moment you abandoned on individual thought. It's the duty of demons to trick mankind, and so, thinking and scheming was part of their very nature. The moment they abandoned that, they became no better than mindless beasts. I pulled a caddy sword out of the pocket dimension. I didn't feel like I could ever lose against them. I could spot fear in their eyes as my weapon entered their vision. They proceeded to chant their raison d'etre to counter it. They finally realized they could no longer grasp the reason for being. They abandoned thought, leaving in the hands of another, consequently losing the right to whatever beliefs had made them strong in the past. The outcome of our battle had already been decided before I ever reached for my sword. So, without giving them a second to resist, I ended the lies in a single flash of light. Let's go. It's about time we settle things with Astaroth.
Aye, but it will take a bit of time, going through all the stratums one by one.
Oh, don't worry about it. There's a wormhole that connects them.
What?
Astaroth implemented a wormhole in Tokyo Babel's design upon its conception. It's how Camael could keep popping all over the place with little to no time lag.
Wow, talk about unfair.
Yeah, you can say that again. It made a bitter smile. Still, I couldn't help but thank the existence of that underhanded trick. It proved just the perfect shortcuts for us.
However, I cannot imagine you, Setsuna, possessing this information. Did it come from Camael?
Yeah, can't thank her enough for being there for me. I suddenly recall our time together. How she was always by my side when I needed her most. How she saved my life. Mounting Cerberus had passed through the black hole gaping in the sky, the wormhole. And Astaroth, protector of this world, awaited me beyond it. It was most likely the strongest being, other than Lilith, residing in Tokyo Babel, the creature most fitting to bear the title Demon Lord. But before jumping straight into action, I wished to exchange a word with him. He manipulated Camael, who is now a part of myself. I couldn't fight him until I learned the reason behind his actions. Not wasting a single second to rest. Go ahead, Frank.
Not wasting a single second to rest, Sorami guided everyone through the strata directly to their destination. From the second to the third, from the third to the fourth, then fifth and sixth. And so they finally reached the seventh stratum of Shinjuku. No one could hide the surprise from their faces, as they seemed to have completed the supposedly arduous pilgrimage with hardly any effort. The hell is going on here?
I thought we'd have the advantage with these numbers, but then it doesn't seem like there are any masters left.
I feel almost as if I were dreaming.
I wonder if it's a good dream or a nightmare.
A nightmare. What else? What can be worse than the realization that we've had wool pulled over our eyes for all this time? They were told that God would forgive everything if a human would succeed in the pilgrimage. Believing that to be the truth, countless humans, angels, and demons challenged the impassive strata and fell. They scoured the worlds for promising individuals, urged them to take arms, and guided them on countless pilgrimages. In retrospect, wasn't that approach kind of off? They could have just brought an army from the beginning and breached Tokyo Babel with ease.
I'm afraid you're off the mark, Belial.
Only Belial and Raziel reacted to the voice instantly. There was a considerable time lag before the other demons and angels realized what was going on. Yo, Astaroth. What's up? Did you finally decide to abandon your silly games and give yourself up? His eyes fixed on Astaroth, Belial prepared to pull his weapon at a moment's notice in case the demon lord suddenly decided to attack. Astaroth, meanwhile, landed right in the middle of their group, and not minding the hostile glances angels gave him, strode right over to Kugutsu Sorami.
You need something?
What do you expect from the future? Freedom? Equality? Happiness?
Not a hint of mockery in Astaroth's countenance. Sorami understood that he cast his question with utmost earnestness. An indefinable mutter could be heard among the angels, and even Raziel looked like she was about to jump at Astaroth's throat any moment now. But everyone froze the moment the Demon Lord raised his hand and made it sparkle in magical energy. If any harm came his way, he would make that energy explode. And while most angels and demons would probably survive the blast without an issue, Sorami would be fried in an instant. Everyone realized that the girl had been taken hostage before they knew it. In any case, they had no choice but to hear Astaroth out. What did she expect from the future? Peace, equality, order, tranquility, happiness, freedom, release, chaos, civilization, love, something else. She didn't know. There was something off about wishing these things from the future.
All I want is order. I want to have the future completely in my grasp, and have it repeat itself, stable for an eternity. How about you?
Angels and demons let out a collective gulp. Everyone was on their tiptoes to hear what Kugutsu Sorami, an ordinary human, had to say about the matter. Ah, so that was how it was.
I only expect the future from the future.
Everyone cocked their heads at her words. Unable to mask his disappointment, Astaroth frowned deeply.
What kind of answer is that?
Sorami made a troubled face and proceeded to explain.
But what else can you expect from the future? I mean, making stuff like order or having the world plunge into chaos. Isn't that something everyone present should decide instead?
Sorami didn't seem to be afraid of Astaroth any longer. She would, of course, prefer not to be killed here before she could accomplish her goal, but fear, as a concept, seemed to have vacated her heart.
You expect too much from the future. I'm not saying that despair is the best thing in the world or anything, but the future is just, well, tomorrow. Like the part about it being bright or dark, doesn't it depend?
The tension washed away from Astaroth's countenance.
I see. It depends solely on the people. Is that what you want to say?
Yeah.
Seems we are at odds then.
You think so? Well, if that's what you say.
I think this is the part where we challenge each other to a battle to the death to prove our righteousness.
Like hell I can do that!
I'm just kidding.
I don't think it's a good idea to joke around like that in this situation.
Yeah. And that's why I will probably have to fight one of your followers to settle this matter instead.
Eh?
Sorami stole a glance at Raziel and others behind her back. Belial was about to take a step forward.
Stop. It's not you whom I should face. That role belongs to Tendo Setsuna alone.
Setsuna?
Setsuna?
Oh, so he pulled through in the end.
If I best him, then I shall continue to fight for order in this world. If he defeats me, well, that's the end. You'll be able to proceed and live in that future you so desire.
You should do something about that egomania of yours, you know?
Can you trust your lives to Tendo Setsuna?
He intended the words to sound like a threat, but to Kugutsu Sorami, they rang completely opposite.
Just please promise me one thing, if it's alright.
Promise.
Please have a fair fight with Setsuna. No tricks or backstabbing. You have to declare your intent clearly, and only start the battle after Setsuna shows he too is willing to face you.
Sorami made a cheeky, innocent smile. Astaroth couldn't help falling silent for a few seconds.
So if I agree to your demands, you promise to bet your life on our fight?
Yeah, that's right.
Sorami.
Raziel considered the girl with a befuddled, somewhat sorrowful expression. Sorami answered her with an apologetic smile.
Sorry, but this is one thing I'm not changing my mind about. I mean, it's Setsuna. I think that trusting a man you love with your life is, you know, a very right thing to do and all that.
Sorami gave an embarrassed but firm smile. Guess there's no helping it then.
I suppose we can do nothing about it then.
Love. Indeed, love is precious. But Kaguto Sorami, weren't you?
Shut up! I don't want to hear the rest.
Sorami's eyes teared up. She knew it well enough. She knew that there was no future where her affection could bear fruit.
Sorry.
The female Dantalion bowed her head in a display of remorse.
All right. I shall acknowledge your request. If I best Tendo Setsuna, the world is mine. If Tendo Setsuna defeats me, then... well, I guess you would know that one better yourselves.
He snapped his fingers, to which the nearby shadows rippled, and a viscous black liquid oozed forth to the open from their impenetrable depths. It slowly formed into the figure of a man.
Lucifuge, look over Kagutsu Sorami in the meantime.
Hey, that's not what...
As you wish.
The shadows shot at Sorami from everywhere like snakes. The next moment, Lucifuge stood right beside her.
Belial, sorry for forcing you to look over her for all this time.
Well, I could have just let her get hurt running around by herself. Blame my kind-hearted nature or something. Belial scratched the back of his head in mock aggravation.
Belial.
What? Astaroth drew closer to the demon and whispered something in his ear. Puzzlement appeared on Belial's face.
Will you do this for me?
As long as he's fine with it, I guess.
That's all I wish for. The right to choose is his, after all.
Belial shrugged as if there was nothing else to add. Astaroth turned to the other angels and demons.
Well then, I shall wait for Tendo Setsuna in this very location. You should go ahead and climb Jacob's ladder while you still can. I imagine you wouldn't want to get caught up in our battle.
He no longer had any business with them, and so he was about to leave the fugitives to their business when one of the angels suddenly approached him.
Wait.
Astaroth turned around and smiled at the sight of the angel behind his back. Raziel gasped in surprise.
Camael?
Thank God he was still alive. That was what she wanted to say, but the sorry state Camael was in, wounds littering the entirety of his frame, took her words away.
Oh, Camael, I can tell what you want to know. Uriel is waiting for you outside the walls of Tokyo Babel.
Outside, huh?
You can go after him, or you can go with them. It's your choice. Just know that he no longer poses any threat to anyone.
He posed no threat. If they left him alone, he would eventually consume himself. But that would mean leaving him behind in this withering world.
Well then, be on your way. May you carry your hopes and despair, order and chaos, all the way to the final point of your pilgrimage.
All right. I'll do so. Mr. Lucifuge? Can I go?
You are free to do as you wish.
Okay then. Mr. Astaroth? Goodbye.
Astaroth gave her a wry smile.
You shouldn't forget we might still meet again.
And with that, he disappeared. Angels and demons, following in Sorami's example, started towards Jacob's ladder. Only Camael remained frozen in place. Unable to ignore him, Raziel approached him.
Camael, I'm glad to see you're alive.
I pulled through somehow. Raziel, you know,
She halted his words with her hand and gave him a mournful smile.
Want to go after Uriel, don't you?
Camael considered Raziel for a long moment, and then let out a long sigh.
I have to settle this once and for all. Raziel, I leave the future in your hands.
Understanding the true meaning of his words, Raziel addressed him once more, her voice resolute.
You're planning to stay behind?
Yeah, I am. You need at least one fool in the team, don't you think?
Camael shrugged. Raziel considered him with an icy gaze.
Oh, we don't, you witless twit.
Well, maybe I am one, but it kind of still riles me up when you say that.
Raziel fell silent and lowered her head.
I guess we can do nothing about it. You're the only one who can save Uriel. It would be too cruel to just leave him alone.
I might not look it, but I'm still an actual angel, you know. If I see someone who needs saving, I can't help it.
Ah, but Camael, you understand full well, don't you? There was no saving Uriel. The master angel she knew would never allow himself to be saved.
El, you know, you kind of remind me of Selenuntis.
Who?
Raziel snickered to herself.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, leave this place to me. I'll see you around, Camael.
Don't worry. I'll catch up right after I'm done.
It was highly unlikely the two would ever meet again. Both Raziel and Camael understood that full well. Still, they chose to believe in a miracle, to bet on luck. And unlike what most might say, that was far from a display of weakness. Camael stopped his gait, and turning around on his heels, set off towards the horizon. A few other angels turned to follow him, but Raziel stopped them with a swing of her hand.
Stop. Camael has a personal matter to take care of. Get in his way.
Look. But...
Listen, everyone. From now on, you're going to be under my command. It's a terrible pain in the neck for me, but the situation calls for it, and I have no choice.
She totally told us it was a pain in the neck.
Angels are so loose, ain't they?
Raziel is the exception to the rule.
Till now, Camael coordinated our efforts and kept pulling us forward. Don't you think it's about time he took matters into our hands? Two deserves the right to sacrifice himself for someone.
She felt so wretched inside. What Camael was doing was not a fool's kindness. They could easily condemn it as self-indulgence, curse it as hypocrisy. Yet that very fact made her feel Camael's resolve worthy of respect.
Let's be on our way. Let's finish this last trek to heaven and wait for the two to end their bout.
Who in the end would prove victorious? The hero or the demon lord? Which one of them would the future choose? Even Raziel, the herald of the secret of God, didn't know the answer. Still, I have no idea what the hell Astaroth is thinking.
You can't tell, Professor Belial?
Sorami considered Belial with clear eyes. For a split second, the demon felt pressured. Then he shrugged and shook his head.
I can. I kind of get it.
Through Gethel's eyes?
Sorami shook her head. No, she could tell that much without her magical eyes. She could understand the Demon Lord because she, too, once felt like him.
I think Mr. Astaroth. I think he's just lovesick.
The girl's whisper, never finding its way to the Demon Lord's ears, melted into the air like a fragile snowflake, leaving no trace, no record.
The seventh stratum, Shinjuku. Lingering on the empty road, Astaroth gazed absentmindedly at the cloudy sky above. Understood full well he was in the wrong. It would have been so much easier if he had gone mad if someone had just put him out of his misery.
Aren't I a capricious fellow? Just when that someone appears, I end up struggling to my last breath to resist him.
Actually, Frank, keep going.
But he couldn't leave the stage just yet. He could still make the whole of Tokyo Babel dance to his will. That conviction, that ardent wish of his, still burned bright in his heart.
But why is that, Astaroth, O Lord of Demons?
He knew why, all too well. His affection and hatred towards Michael, both friend and foe. Such was the true culprit behind the issue.
Hate and love. I'd always been tormented by the two.
Once upon a time, he was a loving goddess. Once upon a time, he was a scheming demon lord. Now he was neither.
White and black, light and darkness, swords and shields, love and hate. So turn the gears of the universe. Its pores awash with such antimony. Layers of self-contradiction piled on one another. And so my love treats us all as equals. Hatred white as snow is crushed beneath my fangs. Midnight black love cherished in my embrace. I carry on my shoulders the world, the humans, angels, demons.
The hues of black and white suddenly oozed out of Astaroth, and melting into the air, painted the whole scenery in shades of gray.
This is my dominion, my realm. I am both myself and someone else. I am the victim and the aggressor, and so shall my world too reject and embrace all.
Astaroth's raison d'etre was affectionate hate. Black and white rejected each other, leaving only the gray demon lord to rule over the realm. Astaroth considered the sky and grinned. He made a declaration to the heavens loud enough so he could hear.
This is a microcosm of my design. A ballad written in my own ashen ink. Is it to your liking, Tendo Setsuna?
With that, he fixed his eyes on a shadow in the sky and saw a young man riding a monstrous hellhound. Black, yet white. Human, yet not at the same time.
Astaroth, I came to put an end to everything.
So rang the boy's calm declaration. Astaroth comprehended what it was, a sensation of death itself caressing his neck. What a sweet and dazzling, yet terrifying feeling. He felt afraid of the end from the bottom of his heart. And so he swore not to lose. He'd struggle to the very end. He wouldn't let his guard down for a split second, and would allow his opponent not a single opportunity to prevail. He had to win for Michael.
The seventh stratum, Shinjuku. I could tell something was wrong with it the moment I stepped in. The scenery had no color. Neon signs, the billboards, the clothes in the shops. Everything in this world, except for myself and Cerberus, was painted in dull monochrome. Gray. Completely gray world. Does it seem like we're affected, at least?
I almost thought my eyes gave out here. But if you are seeing the same thing, then there is indeed something wrong with this realm.
Gray seem to rule everything in this world. The lone man standing in the center, clad in white and black. Astaroth.
Welcome, Tendo Setsuna. I'm glad you're doing well. Though it seems both your body and soul have changed since we last met. Did something happen to you?
You could say that. Frank?
Astaroth gave him an understanding nod.
Oh, you fused with Camael. What a waste. You could have certainly found someone with a better body and soul.
You can tell that I'm not interested. I choose her alone, so we shall overcome any hurdle fate throws at us. Together.
Astaroth made a wry smile.
I must say I am quite jealous. As a demon lord, I only ever had enemies and vassals to parley with. Although, well, I suppose even I had one friend with whom I could share my worries.
Who was he?
The leader of the four master angels, who was like God. Michael. He was my behated friend and beloved foe. At times, we spit each other's blood. At others, we exchanged words. He asked me to protect Tokyo Babel shortly before his death, And so I shall, whatever the cost.
He bound even Camael under his control to answer his friend.
You know where Sorami and the others have gone?
Up to heaven. Though apparently they've abandoned God and are on their way to a new future instead.
I see. That was a good idea. Definitely one that suited my purposes. Even though I couldn't accompany them.
Why the long face, Tendo Setsuna? Are you perchance imagining perishing to my... No, that can't be the case. What are you planning to do after you defeat me?
There's one demon I have to meet.
Lilith?
Yeah. Would you believe me I said she was the one who manipulated you? Astaroth showed no hint of surprise at my words.
Oh, but I knew. She kept pushing my back from the very start.
What?
But all she could do was whisper ideas to me. I'm the only one who chose to obey. Of my own free will.
So he knew. He caught into her whispers. Nonetheless, he chose this path.
Right till the very end. Eve never seemed to have noticed. And neither did Metatron, I suppose.
A name of grand angel that had yet to make an appearance suddenly entered the equation. Metatron, the highest ranking angel whose name was almost always mentioned together with Sadafin. I had thought about it. What had I been doing all this time anyway?
Don't worry about him. He no longer matters to this world. In any case, what I wanted to tell you was that you shouldn't take all this drivel of manipulation to heart. So what's your choice?
Here about him change. Almost palpable killing intent filled the surroundings. The time for talk, trying to understand each other, was over. We understood each other to a certain extent, till our positions were irrevocably at odds. I had to kill him. The foe was a demon lord, the very crown prince of hell that rivaled Lucifer and Beelzebub in sheer power. Could it be such a being? Could I stand my ground against him? It didn't matter. I promised to save her, and since I did so, I no longer had the right to ponder about coulds and only hows existed in my world. I'll kill you. I'll find my way to Lilith again. Astaroth met my words with a smile.
My monochrome world has just recognized you as a hostile. Have at you!
To my surprise, the first attack that fell my way was no magical beam, but a straight, basic punch. Having no time to ready with my cutty sword, I tried blocking my bare hands. The resulting crash sent me flying. What the hell was that? He followed with the right uppercut after I blocked his left hook.
I love humans, you see, or rather, every single part of this world, particularly the beautiful teachings your progenitors have left behind.
God damn it! Was he actually...
Boxing.
Setsuna! I had to escape his reach somehow, or... So fast! When it landed, he was already right at my feet again. His jabs jumped out to me like bullets from a machine gun. He drew enough power to shatter concrete walls. Off his attack hardly took a split second. Everything went so fast. I completely lost my train of thought in a blur of flying scenery. He suddenly broke his jabs, bent his left arm as if forming a bow. It suddenly lunged at me as though it was an arrow. I jerked my neck almost unconsciously, trying to escape the deadly fist. It grazed my cheek slightly, scraping skin away to reveal the crimson blood beneath. Where the hell did you learn this stuff?
My techniques are merely the result of long years of training. I've been involved with the art of boxing ever since it first saw the light of day.
No wonder it could take such a perfect form. In any case, I couldn't afford to face him a fair fistfight, especially since my previous bout had already given me enough punches to last a lifetime. He really wasn't planning to make use of his magic. I split him in half with my sword. Circling around me in rhythmic steps, Astaroth saw through my motions, and lunged at me another volley of jabs. Still, this time it was exactly what I was looking for. His head was mine! I drew a Percutty sword from his pocket dimension to Astaroth. It must seem like a blade materialized out of thin air. It continued to swing, right at his neck. Or so I thought. Huh? My blade stopped in place as it came into contact with skin. I could hear a quick, sharp breath. Shit! I tried blocking my elbows, but ended up acting too late. A terrifying blow crashed into my liver, passing the utmost threshold of pain, and robbed my body of all sensation. The leader of 4 master angels, just like God, Michael, his I hated friend, beloved foe. At times we bleed each other's blood, at others we exchange words. My sword. Is Cerberus magic some sort? No, the sensation in my fingers told me that wasn't it. It felt more like something had to contemplate a moment before I could inflict damage upon him.
Have you forgotten? My raison d'etre rules this whole area right now.
Was the phenomenon that stopped the blade from cutting through his neck related to the raison d'etre somehow? He said it was a ballad written in his own ashen ink that had the faintest clue what it was supposed to mean. This is looking too good. I stood up, because I had no idea what was going on. And so, no choice but to stay on deep offense. What was happening there? A coincidence of sorts? Or necessity? Did I do something wrong? Is there a way to get through that invisible guard? In any case, I've gathered more information to fight.
Setsuna, haven't you yet discovered your raison d'etre? Have you?
Yeah.
Well, I cannot say I'm surprised. If being an artificial man wasn't enough, you've also absorbed Camael, further tainting your soul. I'm not even sure I should still call you Tendo Setsuna anymore.
Tainting my soul, huh? Was Camael inside me that felt ire towards these words, or was it an emotion birthed by Tendo Setsuna? Likely the latter. It was a good nature not to remain calm after hearing my loved ones being insulted. Or at least I hoped so.
You won't surpass the power of a demon lord just by assembling defective merchandise and trash together.
Sword of 7 deadly sins didn't work on him, but his fist worked on me just fine. Was his choice of weapons the problem here? I tossed my sword aside and raised my fist. Astaroth gave me an understanding nod.
Your stance is good.
I threw a punch straight at Astaroth's face while he's still busy talking. He didn't dodge, nor did he block. The fist stopped a few millimeters from his face after blocked by some invisible force.
Your fists cannot hurt me.
No. He used neither magic nor some incredible technique to pull this off. I could tell from the sensation when my fist stopped. Raison d'etre was a concept that could rewrite the very physical laws of the world. In other words, he was saying he altered reality so that my fist couldn't hurt him?
Indeed.
Astaroth's fist crashed into my jaw. This time I didn't have enough time to defend. Consecutive blows of this combo assaulted me like a storm. I couldn't find a single opening to counter during his never-ending onslaught of fists. I didn't understand it. It didn't make sense. If Astaroth had complete control over life and death in space, it made it so that no one could touch him, then I stood no chance. Could such a mighty raison d'etre truly exist? In that case, it should have been a manifestation of some incredible concept of rejection. Memories that was the word present in Tendo Setsuna flooded his mind from the remnants of Camael's soul. Was Astaroth such a lord that he could make absolute rejection his very way of life? Not a hit landed in my face. My consciousness grew dim. God damn it! I tried to collect my thoughts in no avail. Astaroth didn't allow me a chance to take some distance.
Setsuna!
flames to get Cerberus stalls, engulfing both Astaroth and myself. Put my all into getting as far from the Demon Lord as possible. Cerberus, too, instantly reverted back to his small form and jumped into my arms. I had to find a place to hide. A frantic dash landed me into what appeared to be a street of the entertainment district of Shinjuku, and it seemed like Astaroth bothered to pursue us. Good. It seemed like I managed to buy some time at least.
Do you think this place is safe?
For now. Making sure not to drop Cerberus out of my hands, I took a relaxing breath. Still, blindly running around wouldn't bring me any closer to victory. I didn't know how much I managed to get out of this. It could be a minute, it could be 10 seconds. I had to utilize it to solve the riddle of this situation.
Your attacks had no effect, huh? I wonder why. It must have something to do with his raison d'etre.
Yeah, this monochrome world is the manifestation of Astaroth's raison d'etre. No doubt about it. Exactly what emotions and thought, and through what logic had it been fashioned into shape, though? That, we don't know. I couldn't think of its rejection. If that was the case, the world wouldn't have lost colors, but if it was something sharp, akin to spikes or thorns perhaps. Astaroth couldn't damage without issues. That attacks couldn't even scratch him. Or rather, they were forcibly stopped before they could scratch him. I literally couldn't do anything to him. Was my body to stop by itself? Or did some invisible force stop my muscles? I had to test that one at least. Cerberus.
Yeah?
I apologize in advance, giving a light flip on her forehead. It seemed it worked alright.
The hell are you doing? That hurt, you know.
I'm sorry, you can bite me in return. I gave my finger and Cerberus hesitant for a few moments, buried his fang in it. The whole thing looked fairly cute, but also hurt quite a bit. That hurt.
And so did I think you did.
If it hurts, then I suppose it would qualify as an attack, wouldn't it?
I guess, yeah.
Cerberus made a serious face. After all, he was the watchdog, the gates of hell, not just any old mutt.
Could it be that destructive power is the issue here?
So the stronger the attack was, the less effect it would have in this world. And what kind of levels would it separate damage? Was a strong punch alright? Was chewing someone's arm too much? I didn't feel like hitting Cerberus that hard, nor did I wish to lose a limb to test a hypothesis. I also had a feeling that we were still missing something. Let's see. In this world, the damage I tried to inflict on Astaroth seemed to get neutralized. Not through magical barriers and invisible armor, but through the very nature of this realm. Its physical laws didn't allow me to cause Wait. If causing damage was the problem, then the fact that I could hit Cerberus, that he could bite me back, made no sense. Damage wasn't an issue here. There was something lurked beyond it. Killing intent. Might be embellished my deeds with pretty words, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to kill a Demon Lord. That's an irrevocable truth. Could it be that this word forbade murder somehow? I wish I could test the idea, but... Cerberus, could you please try to kill me?
I'd like a proper explanation before you make me do crazy stuff. How do you think that makes us feel? I think I could do it if I transformed, but why would you ask for such a thing?
I realized this world might be forbidding the use of attacks with murderous intent behind them.
Then I think it's better if you tried killing us instead. It'd be terrible if we ended up dying because of a stupid thing like this. And we aren't as important as you right now.
Cerberus jumped out of my arms, rolled over his back, exposing his belly.
Go ahead!
Forgive me. I pulled the Ketty sword out of the pocket dimension and stabbed into Cerberus' chest, piercing his...
Huh?
So, that was the idea after all. I couldn't kill him. The answer is clear now. In this monochrome world, attacks that carry killing intent were forbidden from coming into fruition. Was Astaroth an exception to these laws then? A peculiar slithering sound reached my ears all of a sudden, prompting me to jump back. A snake wriggled a step away from where it stood.
This is bad. He found us.
I gasped at the words. Indeed, Astaroth, like Camael, commanded venomous snakes.
And here you are.
Run! I tied my grip on the Picati sword's hilt and proceeded to retreat alongside the transformed Cerberus.
Grimoire, I summon thee from the pages of Goetia, Salamander, Undyne, Sylph, Kobold. Let us answer, in the shape of demons far transcending the elements. Avnus, the master of infernal flames, Vepar, the master of the dark seas, Moloch, the bronze idol of simmering flesh, Lucifuge, the master of wind and shadows.
Frozen in terror. The 4 pillars of basic elements that Belial had shown me a while back now took on the shape of distinguished demons, far surpassing the power of any natural force.
What? He performed the summoning ritual of Solomon just through his elemental magic alone?
One could summon basic elementals. One could summon demons from the lesser king of Solomon. That was hardly exceptional. Anyone with a talented magic could pull off the feat with a book in hand, and a correct chant. What Astaroth did was on a whole other level for anyone anything sensible like that. He used his elemental magic to shape 4 grand demons of their respective elements. That must have required insane amounts of magical energy, the kind that's not even the head of Demon Lord should have been able to pull off out of will.
This is bad. Climb onto my back, Setsuna. We have to escape.
It's too late, Tendo Setsuna.
A cold voice reached me from above. In the first second I had, I darted away from Cerberus. The 4 grand demons lunged at me right away. Lucifuge of tempestuous winds, Vespar of dark seas, Moloch of blood-sucking fiends, Avnus of the infernal flames. I soundly pulled the Picati sword out of the pocket dimension. I had no other choice but to fight them. I sliced through Avnus, then plunged my blade into the chest of Lucifuge. But that was where my offensive had to end. Moloch tackled me, sending my body flying, to which Vespar crashed a can of heavily condensed water.
That was fast.
Astaroth let out a bored sigh. He snapped his fingers, turned the 4 demons to a state of colorless magical energy. Next moment,
What?
astonishment twisted Astaroth's serene countenance. The body of his opponent was nowhere in sight.
The Mirror Knight of Picati, the Avatar of Love.
That's right! I fell from the sky, riding on Cerberus' back. I readied my sword again and bellowed. 7 beasts, full of fire! All 7 avatars of Sin shot straight at Astaroth. Their sole goal, murder! Grimace and Astaroth cast a magic shield around himself. He seemed to be able to conjure up a barrier, putting castle walls to shame with a single flick of his finger. Still, the beasts were manifestations of Sin themselves, monsters by nature. The giant boar glutton, thoroughly mindless of its own safety, crashed into the shield. It perished from Earth's shattering impact, but so did Astaroth's wall. Raining beasts lunged at the now defenseless Demon Lord. The Mirror Knight shattered. The rotten chains fell apart. The molten gold turned to vapor. The silver lion split in 2. Dazzler flames grazed Astaroth's shoulder, but still somehow managed to dodge Laz's attack of Chimera. though only by the very skin of his teeth. But now, I was certain.
Oh, you seem to have noticed.
I see. Attacks that carry killing intent don't work in this monochrome world, do they? Astaroth fell silent. For a few moments he snickered to himself, and elegantly shrugged.
You're right. I thought it would take you longer to figure that out.
It blocks me too. It was meant to defeat me, but...
It proved to be a good hint, don't you agree?
Had no intent to kill me with his fists. Boxing to him was a show, a simple game, like the sport it was. However, there was nothing sports-like about the demons he created and the beasts I summoned. If there was one common thing between the two, was that they possessed no free will. Both the artificial demons and the 7 beasts were like programs written for a single purpose. They had no genuine killing intent. They were automations through and through, destined to fulfill their role.
Indeed, this monochrome world rejects killing intent, as well as love that calls for bloodshed. Still, this world is but a prelude to my affectionate hate.
Astaroth snapped his fingers. The world trembled as if demonstrating that everything in it, from the clouds languidly inching in the far skies and the rocks on the ground, belonged to him alone.
Tendo Setsuna. Have you ever loved someone?
An image of a dark-haired girl pulling my hand appeared before my eyes. I couldn't exactly call her kind. If anything, she was a cruel woman. Yet, her cruelty made me happy. It filled me with joy to the point I could barely contain it.
I see you have. Then have you ever thought about killing the one you love?
No.
I always knew. I cannot help it. I approached Archangel Michael with my personal benefit in mind, and despite falling in love with him over the drinks and words we exchanged, I've never once doubted the firmness of my intent to kill him.
Is that an example of a broken mind? No, not really. The Demon Lord was overly obsessed with the concept of love, or rather, his might very well be the one true form of genuine affection. He refused to love anyone as a demon. He regarded affection that transcended logic as a curse.
And that is why I killed the man I loved. I tricked him, and made him drink deep of my sweet poisons, ravaging his mind. And yet, at the same time, I loved him from the bottom of my heart.
Two emotions were two sides of the same coin, eager to instantly turn around, but never to face the same direction. And he felt them both at the same time. The flames of two contradicting emotions raged within his chest. That was his origin, his true nature.
Let us extol love as we spill blood. May we worship carnage as we sing of affection most sweet. My raison d'etre is more than simply a monochrome wasteland.
The dread that covered the entire world jerked, accumulated in his hands, white in his right, black in his left, clasping together. Next moment, the monochrome vanished from the world. The rule that once denied murder no longer bound us. The white in his hands took in the shape of a delicate, exquisitely crafted arrow. The black in his hands took on the shape of a crude bow, oozing madness. The white in his hands took on the shape of a fierce bow of shining virtue. The black in his hands took on the shape of a sharp arrow of palpable malice. It fit Astaroth, the very incarnation of black and white, so much I couldn't help but shudder. It appeared as though he fashioned a weapon out of contradictions coursing through both his world and very soul.
Behold, the monochrome one, my very heart and soul.
So that was another weapon hidden in Astaroth's raison d'etre. This time, projectile.
Prepare yourself, traitor. First bullet, as the muddy darkness taints the glitter of life.
Astaroth immediately knocked the arrow. With little to no effort, without even properly aiming at me, he let it fly. Next moment, the world split apart. What? Blood turned cold at the sight of the monstrous projectile, ripping it through everything in its path, rending space itself asunder.
Hold on tight and don't let go.
Cerberus dodged the arrow with a howl, and managed to exceed the speed of that all-decimating arrow, explaining that his status as the watchdog of hell was not merely for show. What? I turned back to see the arrow closing in on us from behind. Rotating in the air, it follows us as if guided by some invisible hand. Cerberus galloped through the sky, yet no matter where he went, up or down, the arrow followed without a moment's rest. Demolition, everything in this path.
Second bullet. The radiant light feasts upon the lonely shadow.
A black arrow this time. It pierced through the air almost as fast as a ray of light.
I can't make it out.
Because with 3 heads, Cerberus had trouble properly visualizing an object soaring at that speed. Luckily, only grazed my side. It hurt like hell, but that was about it. However, the worst had yet to come.
Setsuna, what are you doing?
I felt something invading, violating my body from the area where my skin came in contact with the arrow. God damn it! Without a moment's hesitation, I ripped out the muscle and skin around the wound.
If you had to pinpoint the accurate area of the soul, you'd eventually end up looking at your heart and brain. My black arrow has the power to transmute them.
Does it make everyone who touches you your slave or something?
It did that to Camael. But I don't need you. I would much rather see you despair at your own soul ended up tainted, irrevocably unfit for mankind.
Disgusting.
Cerberus let out a roar, spitting gusts of flame at Astaroth. Demon Lord merely knocked and launched another white arrow. The arrow pierced through the Hellhound's fire breath, dissipating it.
The nature of the white arrow is true to its looks. It tears down and demolishes everything. No one can stop it.
Pale white of killing intent, the midnight black of love. I needed to figure out a way to counter Astaroth's attack while dodging his deadly projectiles. Cerberus! Cerberus shot forward. Astaroth smiled.
Let's see how you fare against another 4.
4 arrows materialized in Astaroth's right hand.
That makes it 6 in total.
No. I shuddered. Countless arrows manifested, hovering above Astaroth. After launching one, he picked another from the air, knocked it immediately, but let it fly again. At this point, his weapon punched more like a grasp heavy machine gun than a bow. The white arrows poured through the very fabric of space, while the black ones had a similar effect on my own soul. It displayed overwhelming strength, entirely too overwhelming. Cerberus, transform! I took a firm hold of the shrinking hellhound and hurled him off into the distance. Dodging Astaroth's white arrow, I severed a part of my flesh that the black one had grazed.
I see you saved Cerberus. Still, it hardly changes the fact that you've cornered to a wall. Be torn asunder by my white arrows, or sacrifice your mind and soul to the black ones. The choice is yours, Tendo Setsuna.
Those have my limit. I could dodge no longer. It took mere seconds for his volley of arrows to turn me into an oversized porcupine, leaving my body or soul thoroughly destroyed. I could not die just yet. Yet hollow words and indomitable spirit proved insufficient in turning the tide of this battle. So how would I proceed?